Well, we got our brand new tire all ready to go. So we're gonna take a swing at reinstalling this. And then along the way, we're going to hop in here and change the engine oil. And we're gonna do a couple other little maintenance items while we got it sitting here. So I picked up oil and filter for the engine. And I picked up some rear end oil for the final drive here. Probably gonna throw some new grease in that. Gonna get the brake back in and throw the battery on the charger. Probably check out the universal joint under this cover and get this guy ready for a season of riding. The other thing I'm thinking about doing is adding a brighter light on the front of the bike, just as a secondary. Sometimes when I head to work in the morning, it's still pretty dark, so I'm thinking about adding an LED light right in here, just to give me a little bit more field of vision, hopefully, on the low light riding conditions. But all right, I'm gonna jump in. I think I'm gonna set this video on time lapse and just give you a whole rundown look at what I'm doing and kind of how I'm doing it. So I got the bikes ready to go, got my service manual ready to go, gonna get some torque wrenches fired up because I like torquing everything to spec, don't leave anything to chance, and we're gonna get started, so hang tight. Alright guys, so right now we're gonna put the brake rotor back on. You can see I made a little line here when I took everything apart. I did that so that way I know which side's up and I know which way everything goes, and I don't know if it has to do with balance or anything like that. So I figure as long as we put everything on the exact way we took it off, we should be good to go. So I'm not throwing any of the Ooga Doogas to these. I'm just kind of running them down so the heads are snugged, because we're gonna hit them with the torque wrench after everything's ran tight. Just like that. Let's grab a torque wrench. Alright guys, so in my last video I mentioned how I was a mechanic, and I kind of talked about how I don't think the tools make the mechanic, so to speak. But so any old torque wrench would work fine. But if you can swing it and you plan on doing a lot of torquing, I really like these Snap-on Tech wrenches. It was one of those splurge things I got when I was a mechanic, and boy are they nice. You know, you don't have to worry about cranking them. It's just super easy to get your settings, and you know you're right every time. You know, they just so much faster, and you can do so much with them. You can do rolling torque, you can do torque angles, but we set the tech wrench to 17 foot-pounds. So now we're just gonna tighten all these bolts in a crisscross pattern, just making sure everything is good to go. Nice and slow. There's our beep letting us know we're tight. Letting us know we're tight. One thing I've noticed as a mechanic is torque is a lot less about a number in some cases, and it's more crucial that everything's even. And this is one of those cases. You want all these bolts to have equal pressure on this disc. So we got that taken care of. I think we're almost ready to start sliding everything into place. So we're gonna check a few more things and we'll get this put back on.
So we got our final drive unit back on here. Everything's nice and splined. This guy's tight. So what we're gonna do next is I'm gonna put a little bit of grease on this shaft, and we are going to install it back in the bike. Sorry about the butt shots. Hang on. There. All right. So we got to get this shaft lined up in here. Stand by. We got our tire slid in, shaft started. Now we're just gonna snug. I just want to snug these bolts up. I don't want them tight. I want to be able to move this housing. So we're just gonna kind of wiggle everything and get it in there hand tight. All right, just like that, we got our final drive assembly back on. Got all these guys started tight, axle shafts back in, everything's spinning, bike's in neutral. So I'm gonna call that good for tonight. But before, all right, we're back on the other side. Next piece of the puzzle is we're gonna put the brake caliper back on, and then we're gonna do some more torquing. We got to torque this axle cap, and we got to torque the axle nut and the final drive housings on the other side. So we're gonna get rolling on that. I'm gonna pull this exhaust bracket off so I can get a little extra room to get in there and get the caliper back seated. All right, we're just gonna kind of slowly finesse that back into place, making sure our pads are seated right still. Yep, that all looks good. I try to be extra careful when I'm messing with the caliper to try to not move the pistons, because as long as you can keep the pistons close to where they're supposed to be, then you don't have to bleed brakes, and I absolutely hate bleeding brakes. But we've got this done. Caliper's back mounted, caliper mounts mounted, axles mounted, tire spins freely. So we're gonna grab the torque wrench, we're gonna hit the book, we're gonna grab some torque specs, and we're gonna get specs for all these parts, and I'll get them torqued. In this step, what I'm gonna do is I got all my torques written down on my little cheat sheet notepad here. So this will help me keep everything straight. But I'm going to torque everything. I'm gonna torque this axle first because I want this to be set and centered. And then I'll torque the final drive housing. Excuse me, let me take that back. I'm gonna torque these axle nuts first for this clamp. Then I'm gonna go to the other side, I'm gonna torque the axle nut. Then I'm gonna torque the final drive housing, so that makes everything straight. Then I'll torque this caliper mount, and then I'll torque the caliper on. Now I just need to find the correct socket. got the oil draining on the other side. So now we're gonna move to getting to the oil filter, which is not fun. And I know in the book it says to take the exhaust off, but I cannot get these pipes to clear. I ended up taking a foot pedal treadle off. I've got cables out of the way, and I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing wrong to get this thing to clear. So we're gonna try our dangest to work around it. The exhaust pipes are loose, so I'm hoping I can wiggle and shift and squiggle things out of the way enough that I can get to this oil filter, because I really want to change that before this year